There is no torment greater than knowing you could be more and refusing to become it. No pain deeper than seeing the man in the mirror and knowing he is not worthy of his own respect. You can lie to others about your effort, your intentions, your excuses, but you cannot lie to yourself. When the night grows silent and the world stops applauding, that voice inside knows whether you lived with purpose or drifted in comfort. If you no longer respect yourself, do not hide from it. Look straight into that truth. That shame is not your enemy. It is your last remaining evidence that your soul has not yet surrendered. It is life's signal that the time has come to destroy the weak version of yourself and rebuild a stronger one through discipline. Discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect in motion. It is the decision to become the kind of person your own conscience can admire. Every man who has achieved greatness began with disgust. Disgust for weakness, for laziness, for indecision, for the small habits that stole his power one compromise at a time. I say to you, if you no longer trust your own promises, if you wake up each morning remembering what you said you would do yesterday but didn't, you are living in the hell of broken intention, but hell has an exit, and its gate is called decision. One decision, made once and enforced daily, can build a mind that commands its own obedience. You must understand, discipline is not born of motivation. It is born of order. The universe itself is ruled by law. Every star, every tide, every atom obeys pattern. And you, as part of that order, must bring your thoughts and actions into harmony with law. The undisciplined man is at war with himself. His hands betray his vision. His words contradict his faith. His desires consume his will. But the disciplined man is one. His thought, feeling, and action move as a single force. Think of Edison, who faced 10,000 failures and never once surrendered. Think of Ford, mocked for his ideas, yet unshaken in decision. Think of Carnegie, who began with nothing but an idea and a relentless code of conduct that he enforced upon himself. Each of these men ruled the same mind you possess. The difference was discipline, the unbreakable habit of doing what must be done whether they felt like it or not. If you will master discipline, you will reclaim your own respect, because self-respect is not earned through comfort. It is forged through obedience to a higher command. Each morning you rise and conquer one act of weakness. You prove to yourself that you can be trusted again. Each evening you keep a promise no one else would notice. You polish the armor of your own integrity. You have tried encouragement. You have tried inspiration. You have told yourself stories of potential and waited for emotion to lift you. It never lasts, because emotion is wind, but discipline is structure. You must now build yourself as a craftsman builds a temple, deliberately, brick by brick, until your mind stands tall enough to carry your dream. Do not look for the feeling. Create the standard. Do not wait for clarity. Decide and move. Do not seek approval. Approve yourself through action. The man you respect, the man you wish you were, already exists in blueprint form within you. Every time you act with discipline, you draw him closer into reality. Every time you delay, you push him back into shadow. There are two men within you, one who obeys impulse and one who obeys purpose. Whichever you serve today becomes your master tomorrow. Understand this truth. You cannot hate yourself into greatness, but you can discipline yourself into love. The weak man believes he must first feel worthy before he acts. The wise man knows that action creates worthiness. Every small victory of self-control deposits new confidence into the soul until respect returns naturally, not as a gift, but as a consequence. Perhaps you are haunted by broken habits, wasted months, abandoned goals. Let the past burn. You cannot rebuild from the ashes if you are still mourning the old house. Begin again, not tomorrow but now. Write your definite chief aim. Fix your attention upon one great purpose and align your habits to serve it. Each day, obey that purpose as a soldier obeys his general. There will be resistance. The old self will beg for comfort. The mind will whisper compromise. But remember this: every weakness you refuse to kill will one day return to kill your dream. Each day you delay, the weaker self grows stronger. Each act of discipline starves it. If you will listen with both heart and mind, I will teach you how to become the architect of your own self-respect. You will learn how to command your emotions, direct your time, and transmute your weaknesses into strength. You will rebuild faith in yourself, not through promises, but through proof. This is the law. You can only respect the man who keeps his word to himself. Every morning that you rise and act in harmony with your definite purpose, you become that man. Every evening that you keep the vow of discipline, your soul salutes you. Do not waste another year waiting for confidence. Confidence is the echo of discipline. Act, and it will appear. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the version of yourself that you would admire, the man who moves without hesitation, who keeps his word, whose eyes reflect calm power. He is not imaginary. He is a consequence, the inevitable result of ordered thought and disciplined action. And I tell you this with certainty. When you live by law, the world begins to obey you. Opportunities appear where there were none. Allies recognize your conviction. Even the obstacles that once broke you will bow in service to your growth. Discipline is the gate to self-respect. Self-respect is the foundation of faith, and faith is the bridge to riches, peace, and power. This is not theory, it is law. So stand up, begin again. Burn the list of excuses and write a new commandment. I will live today as the man I respect. Do not wait for inspiration. You will become it. The old self has spoken long enough. Its reign ends now. Through discipline, you will rebuild trust. Through trust, you will rebuild faith. Through faith, you will rebuild destiny. Recreate yourself until the man in the mirror salutes you. That salute is wealth. That salute is freedom. That salute is peace. There comes a moment in every thinking man's life when his own reflection condemns him. He may wear the same garments, speak the same words, walk the same streets, but the eyes in the mirror no longer obey him. They accuse him. They whisper that he has betrayed his own design, that he has permitted comfort to seduce purpose, that he has ceased to be captain of his own soul. In that instant of silent shame lies the seed of transformation. For self-contempt, when rightly interpreted, is not a curse, but a summons. It is the voice of the inner ruler demanding the throne be restored. It is conscience refusing to be silenced. Many mistake this holy unrest for despair. They medicate it with distraction, drown it in noise, or cloak it with excuses. Yet this discontent is the truest sign of life. The dead feel no disgust. Discipline begins when a man refuses to negotiate with his weakness. The average soul prays for motivation, but the disciplined soul commands itself. To wish is to beg. To decide is to decree. Between those two verbs stands the gulf separating the dreamer from the builder. Every empire of mind or matter was raised by one who, in a single hour of revolt, said, "I will no longer tolerate this lesser self." Look at Abraham Lincoln. He had neither wealth nor favor. He was acquainted with failure, with loneliness, with scorn. But he possessed one priceless asset, the capacity to stand alone within himself and issue orders to his own heart. He did not wait for public applause to steady his conscience. When war, ridicule, and betrayal surrounded him, he remained a silent fortress because he had already mastered the first command of power, self-obedience. Discipline is not punishment. It is reconciliation between thought and deed. Every broken promise to self is a fracture of the soul. Each time a man swears he will act and does not, he divides his kingdom and invites chaos to rule. To rebuild self-respect, he must restore unity, thought, word, and act marching as one. Until that harmony is achieved, no prayer, no vision, no plan can bear fruit. The modern world instructs men to forgive themselves easily, to accept weakness as natural. That teaching has robbed more destinies than famine or war. True mercy does not excuse failure. It redeems it by correction. There is no kindness in allowing one's character to rot beneath the perfume of self-pity. The mind must be cleansed not by indulgence, but by decision. Every man carries within him two voices, the voice of ease and the voice of will. One whispers, "Rest a little longer, the world owes you comfort." The other commands, "Rise, the world owes you nothing." The battle between these two determines every fortune and every ruin. The tragedy of most lives is not ignorance of what must be done, but the refusal to do it when the moment arrives. Discipline begins where emotion ends. The undisciplined man consults his feelings before he acts. The disciplined man acts, and his feelings learn to follow. The first law of self-respect is to distrust emotion when it contradicts purpose. For emotion is a servant that rebels when indulged too long. The will must reclaim authority and teach it obedience again. Understand this clearly. Your mind is not a democracy. It was never meant to hold equal votes for courage and fear, diligence and laziness, purpose and distraction. It was designed as a kingdom, with the will as sovereign and thought as counsel. When every appetite claims equal right, anarchy begins within, and outward defeat soon follows. Accurate thinking is the general that leads this inner war. To think accurately is to see oneself without decoration or disguise. It is to stand naked before one's own intellect and ask, "What am I pretending not to know?" This honesty is the first instrument of power. Self-deception is the enemy of progress, for the mind cannot repair what it refuses to admit is broken. The weak self hides behind reasoning, explanations, and gentle lies. It says, "I would have succeeded if circumstances were kinder, if others had helped, if opportunity had come sooner." The disciplined mind answers, "Circumstances reveal the man. They do not create him." Every excuse is an attempt to transfer responsibility from the throne of power, the self, to the marketplace of chance. Let me tell you a secret of infinite intelligence. Life yields only to those who obey its laws. The stars move not by whim, but by pattern. The tides rise and fall according to rhythm. And man, being part of this order, must align himself with law if he would prosper. The first of these laws is this: no improvement begins until falsehood is rejected. Therefore, cast out all flattering lies. Stop saying you will try. Declare that you will do. Stop claiming you lack time. Admit that you lack will. Stop mourning the past. Acknowledge that you have delayed your own victory. This is not cruelty, it is clarity. Only when you expose the infection can healing begin. Society has taught you to seek comfort over conquest. It applauds indulgence, rewards distraction, and calls surrender balance. But balance without purpose is paralysis. The man who fears extremity never achieves excellence. The world's noise whispers that self-discipline is severity. Yet history's heroes prove that self-discipline is salvation. Consider the path of every builder of greatness. Carnegie, who began with nothing but carried the spirit of a general into every decision. Edison, who accepted 1,000 defeats as tuition for one invention. Ford, who obeyed one vision until the world followed his thought. Each of them was once ordinary, but they chose revolt over resignation. They refused to pity themselves and instead commanded themselves. You may think, "But I have failed too often." Then know this: every failure is proof that you are alive and still capable of victory. The only unforgivable sin against self is to surrender the attempt. The past is not a prison. It is a quarry from which you may carve wisdom. Discipline turns every regret into instruction. Now I ask you to perform your first act of self-command. Take paper and write your own code of self-respect. List the behaviors, attitudes, and habits that your higher self can no longer tolerate. Write them without mercy.